Hey Cougar fans, Dan Ganser, Sports Information Director, University of Sioux Falls. We're here today speaking with USF head men's basketball coach Chris Johnson, whose team has moved to 15-9 overall. They're 10-8 in the Northern Sun. They sit fourth, tied for fourth in the South with Upper Iowa. Chris, you've got another home weekend coming up. This is the third and fourth games of a four-game homestand. You've had a good run of late. How does the team continue to have success on the floor?
Well, the number one thing is keep coming to practice, trying to get better. I've said that a lot, with you. That you get to this time of year, teams that are still trying to improve and still working hard in practice are going to keep getting better and give themselves a chance. And our guys have done that. You get to this time of year, I'm not sure it matters whether you're at home or on the road. Every game is big in the standings, all that kind of stuff, for momentum. We've got a little momentum here. We've won 5 out of 6, and I've talked a lot to our guys about it's hard to build momentum in this league. And when you got it, you better scrap and fight and claw to keep it. And so hopefully that'll be our mentality this weekend as well.
You've got Wayne State coming to town along with nationally ranked Augustana, two traditional rivals for the program. But before we get into those two games real quickly, I think that it's important that we recognize a little bit about our lone senior this year, Jordan Stotts, who's going to be recognized on Saturday night. Can you talk about Jordan and what he's meant to the program?
Yeah, Jordan's been a guy who's basically started for 3 years for us, or parts of 3 seasons, who came here as a walk-on and really has earned himself into our starting lineup, scholarship, all of that kind of stuff. He's been a hard worker. He's a real versatile player. He's 6'8", and most guys that are 6'8" in our league don't move as well as he does. And he's got guard skills. He's almost 40% from the 3. He's kind of added the dimension of putting the ball on the floor this year, probably more than any of the other years. And he's been a big help for us. He's had a really good senior year, really nice bounce back year for him, and has done a great job. And we're going to miss it because guys like that are hard to find. And I'm just glad we've had him, and hopefully we can continue to keep playing with him here for another month.
With Wayne State coming on Friday night, Coach Dolan's got a team that can be very dangerous, as you have mentioned, and they can shoot the ball. They're led by Matt Thomas. They have a South Dakota kid, Jordan Cornelius, coming in. Talk about the challenges of Wayne State.
Well, anytime you play one of Coach Dolan's teams, they're going to be one of the hardest working teams in the league. They play hard. And on Friday nights, they're averaging almost 90 points a game. I will look back over the last 10 or 5 or 6 Friday nights, and they're averaging almost 90 a game. And very scary team. We had our hands full the whole night down at their place. We won by 9. It was about a 4 or 5 point game most of the night. And I don't expect it to be any different. They make you work for everything. Hopefully we can, come in. We're a better basketball team than we were back then, but so are they. But hopefully if we can continue to guard and continue to share the ball on offense, we'll be okay.
On Saturday, of course, it'll be senior night, and we'll honor, as we mentioned, Jordan Stotts. And you have we call it a cross-town rival, but it's probably a block rival because they're just down the road from the University of Sioux Falls. We have Augustana coming to town. Last time it was a tight game at halftime before they were able to open it up a little distance in the second half. Now you have them at your place. Obviously they're a great basketball team, and they do a lot of things very well. How do you prepare for them?
Well, quite frankly, we're worried more about Wayne, and that's how we always do it, our Friday night opponent. That Saturday game will be there. We know it's waiting for us. They're great. I think they're the best team in the country. I don't care if they are ranked 4th, 5th, whatever, it doesn't matter. I think they deserve that respect because that's how good I think they are. I also think we're twice the basketball team we were on, January 2nd. I think we're a lot better. Is that good enough? I don't know. We'll find out. But we're going to have to play really well. I thought we played well in the first half against them, and then I thought we made some huge mistakes in the second half. And against a really good team, they make you pay for them, and they kind of stretched it out on us in a hurry there with about 10, 12 minutes left in the game. Got to find a way to not have those stretches. Got to find a way to believe. It's a game that they've lost once in our league, and you've got to know that if you go in there and you trust the process and you believe in what you're doing, that hopefully you'll have a chance down the stretch.
Now, your team, I mean, you're talking about your team winning 5 of the last 6 games, and part of that has been the ability to put the ball in the basket, and part of that, as you've mentioned all along, has been the ability to create good opportunities by sharing the basketball. Your assist totals, I think you have 5 or 6 games this year over 20, and like 4 of those have happened in the last 3 weeks, and so your assist total has gone way up. I mean, you're just about 15 a game. And at the same time, you brought your turnover rate down. Your assist to turnover ratio, which was, it was
negative.
It was negative at one point, has really moved itself up. And part of that is obviously the ability to maintain possession. Are those the factors, do you believe, that have helped this team along and in this winning
Yep,
run?
I think they're a big part of it on the offensive side. I think we've guarded better in the last 3 weeks than we have in a long time too, and I think that's been really important. We've started out rebound teams again, not by big numbers, but we had a stretch there where we got out rebounded 6 or 7 games in a row, and that's never happened in my career here. That's just not happened, and so. It's a lot of different things, and then it's some guys, Clint Thomas becoming more comfortable, Drew Giebert really growing up, Mac Johnson playing at a really high level. But I think the reason they're willing to share the ball and they're willing to fight so hard for each other defensively is they're seeing that those aren't things that are any different. We've been preaching those things since we started practice. But they're seeing them work, and they're seeing them, and they're having a whole lot of fun playing together and for each other. And when you get to that point, you can do some special things because it's more than just it's about everyone in the locker room all the time, and that's been really huge for us down the stretch here.
You've had a lot of success at home, 10-3 this year. You kind of been able to bring that back after last year when we had some games where we weren't able to finish at the end. This year, you're finishing at home and playing really well at home, right?
Yeah, I mean the goal is always, it's right on our playbook, is to be undefeated in the Stewart Center. Well, we weren't able to do that, but we have been able to kind of establish that this is not going to be an easy place to come in and win a basketball game, and get back to 10-3 with 2 games left. Hopefully, we'll see how those go, but it's been nice to get back to having the Stewart Center being an advantage.
People have come out and support. One of the guys in this recent run that sometimes gets lost is Boojohn. We've talked about him a couple times, but he had 11 assists against Minnesota Crookston. That goes back 14 years since Ryan Kopsick had 12 to better that total. So he didn't score a lot of points that day, but he defended and really distributed the ball well. And this season, he's at 111 assists with 4 games to go in the regular season, and that's the most in over 5 years as well since
Thomas Frames.
Yeah, so he's played exceptional into a position that he had to really learn to get better at, right?
Yeah. He's not naturally a point guard. Never was. He could play there a little bit, but he's really taken that spot over. I think it's a couple things. Not only did he have 11 assists in that game, he had 0 turnovers. That's probably even more impressive. And, he's been so consistent. I think he's the best defensive player in our league because I can put him on 1 through 5. He can guard any position at any time. He sits, and he's our anchor of our defense. And to have a point guard that's doing that and sharing the ball, and a point guard that if we're honest here, everyone in our locker room absolutely loves. Because he works so hard. It's never about him. He cares more about other people than maybe any player I've ever had. That's what you want out of your point guard, and he's setting a great example. And it really helps when your other point guard, Zach Wessels, is playing at a really high level right now too. So now, we can throw either one of them out there. We've been playing together a little bit, and that's been a real positive for us, that play out of that point guard position out of both those young men. Yeah,
it's no coincidence that passing the ball better, lower turnovers, better rebounding, and defense has been steady all year. The reason why USF's been able to move up the statistic totals both in the conference and nationally. Any other thoughts about, for example, the bench that has really seemed to, at times, really stepped up for you, especially last weekend?
Yeah, I mean, guys that don't always get great opportunities did a great job down the stretch last. It was Aaron Rotherman and Gio and Zach and Cutler Finneman, Austin Poe. We got in such bad foul trouble at the end of the first half against Bemidji. They didn't just hold us together. They actually took the lead back for us by 1, and then we kind of rolled from there in the second half. But those guys have brought great energy and passion on the bench, and we've challenged them to do that, and they've really done a nice job. And that's when you know you got a team that's together, and that's a great thing. So
a lot of energy on the bench. Well, Chris, congratulations on the season to this point. We got a lot of basketball to get to play. You're going for hopefully get a home field advantage. Appreciate you stopping by, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Sam.